Yay. How does it get any better than that? Hello, everybody. My name is Rachelsilber, and I'm here with you each day for a few minutes each day during the month of January to just kind of play. And I noticed I forgot to write this on my hand again. BEJG, be ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to us with ease and joy and glory. And I apologize to you, but my brain kind of feels like the mush. I have been on Zooms for like, I don't know, 6 hours today, something like that, surrounded by these amazing tools from Access Consciousness, which is a modality that I absolutely love. And not only Access Consciousness, but the majority of them were Access Consciousness. But they were all regarding consciousness and all regarding being us and all regarding being willing to receive, being willing and able to have a different conversation with our body, for example, in Simone Millis's Hello Bodies membership, which is absolutely phenomenal. And there was Lale's conversation about the How to Become Money workbook, the advanced version, which I've been attending every day for like, I think a week now, something like that. I don't know. We've been through, maybe it's been a little less than a week, but I've held up. Oh, I have it here. I might as well hold it up. We're going through a chapter a day and discussing and asking questions and looking at things deeply. And then there was Dr. Dain's reset. There is a link in the bio. There is a link below this video if you're watching it not on Instagram. So there's a choice that Dr. Dain made to make the reset, the launching of the reset, the first call out of was supposed to be 10 days with him, an hour a day, a Zoom a day for 10 days. For, I think it was $47. Now he's announced that it's for 20 days. So how does it get even better than that? And the first one, he invited the world to it. So it wasn't any longer just the Access Consciousness database, just if you've taken a bars class, etc. He opened it up to anyone and everyone who would like to receive, who would like to experience, who would like to explore a world beyond. And I think it's accessconsciousness.com/gifts. I'm not sure, but it's in the links below the video and in my bio, if that's easier and you happen to be on Instagram. And the reason that I say this is because there were a few things that I saw popping up. I was not on the watch page. I was on a Zoom with him because as soon as he announced that this was going to happen, I already know what sort of a deep dive Dr. Dain goes to when he creates these programs, when he has these conversations, especially daily, right? Especially these conversations that just build on each other and build on each other. And there's a big group of us that just says, let's go. We know that something else beyond this reality is possible, that there's something beyond hatred, and there's something beyond upset and intrigue and being so frustrated and upset at the world. There's something miraculous available for all of us. And so we know this already. I personally have been playing with the Access Consciousness tools mostly since the middle of 2011, but I got introduced to them at the end of 2010. So it's been a little bit. And the more I explore, like truly willing to energetically get present and play and explore and delve even deeper, the more expansive my life becomes personally. And it's really, really interesting. Today on that Zoom with Dr. Dain, I saw many of the questions and comments and things like that that were kind of whooshing through. And it was very interesting. Sorry, just clicking. Hello, smiley face. And it was really interesting to observe some of them because there were places where people were acknowledging, they were in the flow, they were in the energy, they were aware that they could choose something different, that life is actually abundant and phenomenal and magical, and there's a lot available, or they were enclosed in there. literal boxes of their own creation that they don't even realize that they created because of their points of view, because of their thoughts, because of their feelings, because of their emotions, where they made life happen to them rather than see, oh, somewhere, somehow, I chose this. Maybe not cognitively, maybe not, logically, maybe not, clearly saying, I would like to suffer. But when we believe that the world is out to get us, we're going to create proof of whatever is our point of view. If we believe that we are worthless, then the universe is going to give us more of whatever it is that we're observing. If we think that the entire world is out to get us, definitely been there, done that, got the t-shirt of that one. But when we have that point of view, we don't notice those people who aren't out to get us, those people who have our back, those people who are willing to support us, to contribute to us, to play with us, because we can't even see them, because we have this point of view that this is the way it is. And so when we have that point of view, we shrinky dink our world into a box of limitations, a box of lies, a box of density, of intensity, of this is terrible. And it's a very polarized box. Consciousness includes everything and judges nothing. So consciousness includes everything, including the black, including the white, including the good, including the bad. It's up to us to choose to be ease and to have ease with whatever goes on. We take ourselves out of the being the effect of everything, and we choose, because this is about choosing, to be a choice that goes beyond it. So what space could we be? What energy could we be? What choice could we make that we've never chosen before? What else is possible beyond this? What energy can I be that would change this? So on those comments that were whizzing by, quite a lot of them, there were some that were like, can you prove to me that the bars, for example, actually work? Can you prove to me that this or that actually functions? And something interesting that I noticed about myself, when I first heard about Access Consciousness in 2010, I'd heard one of those telesummit things with Gary Douglas speaking. And I heard the bars mentioned, I heard the clearing statement mentioned, and I thought it was just so strange. But it stayed in the back of my head. And then I heard yet another one of those telesummit things, another conversation a couple of months later, and I heard it again. And now I actually managed, at that time in 2010, early 2011, there wasn't very much online available about Access Consciousness. So I had to grab a little post-it note. I remember a light green post-it note, and I wrote down the clearing statement. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts. At that time, it was just boys and beyonds. It's since been changed a little bit because I couldn't grasp the words. I couldn't get the gist of what this person was saying. But I got that there was something that this person was being that appealed to me. There was an energy that was there that spoke to something else available. And by the way, I was pissed as hell listening to these people like laughing and being irreverent and having such a great time. And I'm like, don't you know life is about suffering? Don't you know life is about pain and it's horrible and it's terrible. And we've got to really speak about how terrible things are. But does that actually change them? Does that actually contribute to something different in the world? Change comes from looking at what is and hopefully choosing more lightness, because then we will have more lightness in the world. When we go into a very intense point of view, we're either aligning and agreeing or resisting and reacting with this very polarized reality. And yes, in this world, there's a lot of stuff where people say, oh, this is terrible, this is horrible, or this is really, really good, this should go on, we should. And just fucking look at the protests that have been going on for the last few months. They're looking at one element and they're fighting, and there's so much fight. From fight, we don't have a different possibility. There's just a perpetuation of more fight, of more hatred, of more struggle. does that really work for us? Is that something that we'd really like to have? So this was really interesting. I noticed acknowledging here, I'm acknowledging and I'm recognizing a difference that I heard about the bars. I wrote down the words of the clearing statement. And nowadays you can go to theclearingstatement.com and you see it written and you have a whole explanation, and it's fantastic. Back in 2011 or end of 2010, whenever that was, I had no clue. I just wrote it down. I was like, well, I'll try to say it. It sounds like gobbledygook, but I'll try it. Hey, why not? And I did. And they kept talking about the bars. And at that time in Guatemala, nobody ran bars. There was nothing like access consciousness in Guatemala at that time. And that's where I was. And so when I went to the United States, when I went to Houston in the summer of 2011, the first thing I did before I even left Guatemala, I looked up where could I have somebody run my bars. And I reached out. I had no idea what it was. I just knew somebody's going to put their hands on my head and there's a possibility for something, with no clue as to what it was. I didn't justify. I didn't say, well, how much yes, I asked how much was a session. And the lady, thank goodness, said to me, well, a session is $150. But if you take the class at that time, it was, hang on. There. At that time, it was a $200 class. Now it is, I think, $400, if I'm not mistaken. But back in 2011, that's what it was. And she said, listen, if you come and take a class rather than just have a session, I'll run your bars twice and you'll run them twice and you'll learn how to do this. I didn't even hesitate. To me, it was just, I could go and have them run once for $150 or for $200. I could have them run twice and learn. Wow, what a concept. And I knew nothing else beyond that. There was this enthusiasm in my world, this just being lit up by the possibility of something that I knew nothing about, that there was hardly any information about at that time on the internet. I think when I became a bars facilitator and brought access consciousness to Guatemala, Guatemala was country number 38. And now access is in like 170 some odd countries around the world. It's really expanded dynamically. And I think it's because there were so many people who were just willing to jump in and say, you know what? Life shouldn't be like this. There should be possibilities in the world. There is more to this world than meets the eye. And they were willing to choose to go beyond the comfort of their limitations, the familiarity of their limitations, what they've known to be one way of looking at the world. So it's really funny. I was just willing to just go in and delve. And the person who was there on the Zoom, and there's other people who've reached out to me in the past and asked me to justify or say, will it work in the case of this disease or this situation or that thing? Well, let me tell you something. Access consciousness is not something that you go to for, let me give you a healing. That's not the modality for that, right? We empower you to know that you heal yourself. You heal your body, or you simply receive. What the bars do is eliminate, they allow you to dissipate, eliminate, let go of points of view that have been running your life without you even noticing that they are there. And the more of the gunk that gets washed out, that gets zapped out of your head, literally just a gentle touch. This is not painful. The more space you have to be able to notice a possibility, to be able to notice something different, to be able to notice that you may have a point of view that's sticking you. So your way of looking at the world begins to expand from teeny tiny to a little bigger and a little bigger and a little bigger and a little bigger and a lot bigger and a lot bigger. And you see possibilities. And you see other things that you have available to you, that you could choose, that you could experience, that you could enjoy. Life begins to look different when you're not burdened by so many points of view. And there is a fantastic website, again, links below or on my bio, where you could go. It gives a lot of information. Free your mind. The Access Consciousness bars page there. It gives so much information. You don't have to take a bars class. You don't ever have to go get your bars run if you don't want to. But I would just like you to look. See, some people go, I just want to make sure I don't get into a scam. You know, that page where Dain offered to not only to gift you the Zoom that he had today, the webinar, the call, whichever way you want to call it, that he had today. Not only is it gifted free, beyond that, he's also gifting the You Got This Waking Up Miraculously audio beneath that. Free. There's his YouTube channel, which you are welcome to look for on YouTube, with so many tools, so many conversations. You don't have to spend a frickin' dime. Now, if you would like to spend a dime, $15, the original reset, or as we're jokingly calling it now, the preset, that is $15 for 16 hours of interaction, of conversations, of explanations, of energetic contribution to the way you be and function in the world, and to show you that things may not be what you think they are. They give you a different way of functioning, literally allowing you to reset the way you've been, to melt, to restart, and to be able to choose something entirely different. It's 15 fucking dollars. It's not like it's a huge investment or, oh my God, I'm going to be taken in. And it's your choice. The bigger investment would be your time, because it's about 16 hours of, listening to something. But you can try it. You can see. You can listen to the things on his YouTube channel. You can listen to some tools and go, okay, let me play with that one. I've given you a tool on one of the previous musings and contributions. For example, the mantra, which here I can put it on. Yeah, but on Instagram, I don't quite have that ability. But here, I don't know if, oh no, it's the camera's behind me. That's silly. So I guess you can't see it unless oh, never mind. Don't know how to turn. Oh, I can turn it like this. Wait, see? All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. See? That's the mantra of Access Consciousness. Start with that. Start with whatever you like, but recognize that you always have a choice. When someone's telling you, hey, you know what? There's this new restaurant that opened up in town, and it is freaking phenomenal. The food is so delicious. The presentation is phenomenal. The ambiance is out of this world. I love this place. Are you going to sit there and go, but I want to make sure this isn't a scam? I want to make sure that you give me the proof that my stomach is going to digest this food really well and it'll shit out in perfect, colorful, unicorn, whatever, to prove to me that I ought to go to this restaurant. No, there's no proof. There's just choice. Would you like to? Go for it. Would you prefer not to? That's cool too. What would you like to choose, and what have you not allowed yourself to choose so far? There was a question he gave in the reset, and I just thought it was absolutely fantastic. And it is, what is your favorite excuse for why you don't have to choose the things or do the things or be the energies that would create the future that you say you desire? So you can use a tool like the mantra of Access Consciousness. All of life comes to us with ease and joy and glory. Or you can ask a question like, how does it get any better than this? What else is possible? Two phenomenal questions from Access Consciousness. How does it get any better than this? And what else is possible? You don't have to buy anything as real and true. You can just play with it. It's a scientific experiment, if you'd like. It's a playground of possibilities if you're willing to explore and you're willing to play. You don't have to buy anything as real and true. And you don't even have to practice or play or explore or anything. Look, truly, step out of what's coming out of your mouth or what it is that you're saying. Is that sticking you in a box? Step outside for a moment and look. Is that what you'd like to create? Is that what you're enjoying living? Is that what you'd like to continue and have as your life and living and your future? Because you have a choice. I think it was Benjamin Franklin who said something about how most people die at the age of 25. They just don't know and keep living until their 70s. I don't know. There was some quote like that. I'm bastardizing it right now. But most people forget that they're actually living. As kids, we know. As kids, we freaking know. We create, we play, we explore, we keep growing. Literally, we keep growing because we're willing to be flexible, because we're willing to explore. We don't shut things out. Kids are so very different than adults because even running kids' bars, for example, when you have a child, whether it's a little baby or a kid, they run the bars much, much faster than do adults. And when you run their bars, they work much faster as well. They're not as invested in the gravity of their points of view. Those grave points of view pull you down literally into an early grave. And that comfort zone, that box that's so familiar, is basically like your velvet lined coffin. You want to live, you want to thrive, you want to choose, you want to enjoy. That's very different than going into a hole. And it is always your choice. Nobody says you have to do one thing or the other. Just look at what it is that you would like to create your life as. And if you'd like to have more possibilities, choose beyond what you've now chosen. So, what is your favorite excuse for why you don't have to do or be or choose the things you know would create the future that you say you desire? And everything that does not allow you to have clarity with that, will you revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate it all, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Go to theclearingstatement.com for an explanation of that. There are links below. There are links in my bio to all of this stuff. And really explore. That's the same thing that I'd written on my Post-it note before there were so many easy to find explanations. I was willing to play. When did we forget to be willing to play, to be willing to explore, to give things a chance? And like I said, if you go to that accessconsciousness.com/gifts or whatever that the reset gifts that's in my bio, go to that. Click. There are two easy free gifts. One is the phenomenal reset that Dain did today, from which that question comes. And another one is the waking up miraculously. You got this audio that he is gifting there. And I don't need to sell any of it. This is free and it's your choice. What would you like your life, your living, your reality to be like? One of barely surviving, struggling, suffering this reality, or one of thriving and possibilities? Because either one is your choice. Truly your choice. You get to choose, and it is your choice that creates your future, your choice that creates your experience, your choice that creates everything in your life. And it's up to you. And in my case, I didn't need proof. I didn't need explanations. I just jumped in because somewhere I heard this voice that said, that I'm having that. What would you like to have in your life? What do you know that will light you up, delight you, add something that's different? If you always go to McDonald's every single day of your freaking life, are you able to see or appreciate that something else may be available and possible? And if that new restaurant opens in your hometown and people are recommending it and it is just a delight according to everybody who's visiting it, and possibly sucky according to some other people, would you allow yourself to see, hey, this might be fun for me and my body to explore? It'll certainly be a different taste. I'm willing to try it. What's the worst that could happen? You'd go for a meal, you'd have an experience. Like it? Great. Don't like it? Don't have to go back there again. What have you got to lose when you're willing to choose? So, thank you. This has been January 10th, Musings and Contributions, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Bye and thank you.